day. We want to say thank you for always joining us at G9ijaTV newspaper headlines every day. Thank you for always being there as part of our online global family. We appreciate you this morning. Welcome to G9ijaTV newspaper headlines with your regular host, Dr. Champion. How was the night? Hope you slept well and hope you have a smile on your face. Don't forget what we learned yesterday, that you must learn to be ecstatic, learn to be happy, learn to get by with a smile on your face. Give out happiness and it comes back to you. Give out smiles and it comes back to you. Whatever is happening to you, like we said yesterday, that's not really what happens to you that matters, it's what happens in you that really counts. All right, make somebody happy. I'm talking about happiness. We want to wish a few of our friends, families, viewers, people that have been there for us, a happy birthday. So I'll be taking your birthday shout out, especially to wonderful people that have been there watching G9iJA TV, both our newspaper headlines and other contents. Of course, we want to say happy birthday. And first on my list is Madam Grace, Gracious Grace, Madam Grace, CEO Adon to Law Group of Companies in Lekki, Phase 1, Lagos. Happy birthday to you, Ma. Long life, prosperity. We pray that today, as you mark your birthday, that the good Lord will continue to give you more wealth, more health, strengthen you in all your endeavors, and move your business from glory to glory. She's into makeup, pedicure, manicure. She's into human care, body care, skin care, and fashion generally. So congratulations to you. Happy birthday, Madam Gracious Grace. Oh, Michael. All right. And next to her, another birthday celebrant is one of my very own boss, Mr. I'm not sharing Isaac. All right. Ojo Isaac Olushola Michael. Mr. Ojo Isaac Olushola Michael. Happy birthday to you, sir. He's a journalist, publisher, editor in chief, SBE News, SB Events Magazine, Efficiency Magazine, Founder Efficiency Award for Excellence. Happy birthday to you, big brother. May the Lord continue to, lighten your paths in Jesus' name. And also on still birthday wishes, my very good friend and wonderful on-air personality. We call her the screen goddess, Cindy Eze. Wow, adorable, delectable, amiable woman of honor. Cindy Eze, this birthday shout out is to you. Happy birthday. We wish you many more years, long life and prosperity in Jesus' name. And also to an educator, a man that loves to impart knowledge, and also a man that's into ministry. All right, Mr. Daniel Edena. Happy birthday to you, sir. Daniel Edena, long life and prosperity. I wish you all the best, and I pray that the good Lord will continue to strengthen you and keep you more and more in Jesus' mighty name. And though belated, on the 6th of May, one of our own here, Grace Udoka, Professor Onyeka Jr., marked her birthday. We say happy birthday to you. And may the good Lord keep you, prolong your life, give you more health, give you more grace, give you more gracious grace. As your name is Grace, enjoy grace from God graciously. And to the CEO to Adon to Law, CEO of Adon to Law company here in Lagos. Once again, we say happy birthday to you, Madam Gracious Grace. Oh, Michael. And we pray that the good Lord will strengthen you, keep you, and continue to use you to be a blessing to humanity. Okay, so if you're born in May, you could still send us messages, send it to our DM, connect to us via social media on our Instagram, YouTube, different social media handles, and of course, we'll read out your birthday shout out here, right here at the studio, and of course, we shall be delighted to share your moments. Please send our cake. All the celebrants, please send in our cakes. And wherever the party is holding, oh, it's party time, party time. Let's go and celebrate. Let's go and celebrate. You see me already dancing in the studio, checking out my dance steps. All right, so just tell us where it's holding, and we'll be there to celebrate with you. All right, and without much ado, let's quickly go to the newspaper headlines this morning. And we're starting with something that concerns us all, the electricity strike. All right, electricity tariff hike. Electricity tariff hike. According to the Daily Post, Nigerian government reveals next plan after workers' protest. Electricity tariff hike. Nigerian government reveals next plan after workers' protest. Now the news in detail. The controversy surrounding last month's electricity tariffs hike is yet to fade as the Nigerian workers on Monday disrupted activities in the power sector, demanding its reversal. Daily Post reports that the organized labor picketed offices of all the 11 electricity distribution companies and the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NERC). In Abuja, the protest was led by Joe Ajero, NLC president, to the Ministry of Power and the NERC headquarters. Offices of Abuja Electricity Distribution Company were also shut down as workers were prevented from resumption. Similarly, they picketed the offices of the 11 discos in Kwara, Lagos, Kaduna, Plateau, Enugu, Sokoto, and other parts of the country. Ajero, during the picketing, said NERC should review its methodology for tariff increases in the electricity sector. He noted the tariff hike. He noted the tariff hike is the fundamental cause of the country's soaring headlines and food inflation, which stood at 33.20% and 40.01% in March. In response to the organized labor's one-day protest, the Nigerian government has said that it's ready to negotiate with organized labor. A spokesperson for the Ministry of Power, Mrs. Florence Eke, in a telephone interview with Daily Post after workers crippled activities at the Ministry of Power, said the federal government, through the permanent secretary, Mr. Maman Mahmouda, had convened a consultative meeting for the next week with the organized labor and the stakeholders to address the matter. The ministry has asserted that its responsibility is to make policy while agencies, in this case the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission and other agencies, implement it. The ministry will invite all stakeholders for a proper consultation by next week, she said. However, the Nigerian Labour Congress spokesperson Benson Upa told Daily Post that the government was supposed to consult before implementing the April 3rd electricity tariff hike. He warned that the picketing was just a teaser of what was to come if the Nigerian government did not reverse the tariff hike. They were supposed to do a consultation before the tariff hike. What happened today is a teaser to what will come if the government does nothing, he said. Recall that in April 2024, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission announced a 240% electricity tariff increase for Band A customers getting 20 to 24 hours of power supply. The hike led to customers in Band A paying 225 naira kilowatts per hour from 68 naira kilowatts per hour. As justification for the hike, the Nigerian government at different fora said it would save the country 1.5 trillion naira and that only 15% of 12.8 million electricity customers would be affected. Following the hike rejection by Nigerians, a recent minor reduction of 18.2 naira was announced. However, workers picketing of discos and NERC showed that organized labor is unsatisfied with the government's minor tariff reduction. Details of that can be seen in the Daily Post newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And away from there, we move over to the Vanguard newspaper with the headline, Fubara legally empowered to probe Wike's government. According to SAN Wahab Shitu. Now the news in detail. A senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN Wahab Shitu, said Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State is legally empowered to probe the government of his predecessor, Nyesom Wike. Shitu stated this in an interview on Channels Television Politics Today on Tuesday. Shitu said the Rivers State Commission of Inquiry Act and the Nigerian Constitution empower Fubara to investigate any government, including that of Wike. He said, if you look at Rivers State Commission of Inquiry Act Section 1, the governor of Rivers State has powers to probe the former governor. Recall that Fubara had announced a plan by his administration to set up a panel of inquiry into the governance of the state. Governor Fubara stated this on Monday after swearing in Dagogo Iboroma as the Attorney General of the state shortly after the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, was screened and confirmed by Victor Oko Jumbo-led House of Assembly. He stated that the state is in a critical situation where it had become obvious that the political crisis cannot be resolved. Why are we bringing you in at this very critical time? You have a big tax. As it is today, in the local parlance, they say the jungle has matured. We'll be setting a panel of inquiry to investigate the affairs of governance, so brace up. I am not going back on it, he added. The governor accused his opponents of deliberately sabotaging his administration while he was hoping that the issue in the state would be resolved amicably. He vowed to make tough decisions moving forward, no matter how hurtful they would seem. Details of that can be seen in the Vanguard newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And we move straight ahead to the Punch newspapers. The Punch newspaper has this interesting headline. Breaking news: Emefiele pleads not guilty to printing 684 million naira notes with 18.96 billion naira. Wow, that is massive. I take that again. Breaking news according to the Punch newspaper. Emefiele pleads not guilty to printing 684 million naira notes with 18.96 billion naira. Now the news in detail, because I'm sure you'll be interested in this. The embattled former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has pleaded not guilty to the allegation of approving the printing of 684.5 million naira at the rate of 18.96 billion naira. Emefiele said this during his arraignment on Wednesday by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on a four-count charge before Justice Marian Anini of the FCT High Court in Abuja. In the four-count charge filed against him, the FCC alleged that Emefiele disobeyed the direction of law with intent to cause injury to the public during his implementation of the Naira swap policy of the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. The anti-graft agency also accused Emefiele of unlawfully approving the withdrawal of 124.8 billion naira from the Federation's Consolidated Revenue Funds. Details of that can be seen in the Punch newspaper. Just get yourself a copy. And we move on to the Daily Trust with this interesting story. Tinubu suspends 0.5% cybersecurity levy. Now the news in detail. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has suspended the 0.5% cybersecurity levy on electronic transactions in the country. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris made this known while speaking to journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Tuesday. It is disclosed that Tinubu directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to suspend the implementation and review the modalities for the implementation of the cybersecurity levy. The minister added that the levy was thoroughly discussed at the FEC meeting, adding that the policy is undergoing review. The position of the government is that that policy has been suspended. It has been put on hold. That is the position of the government for now. It is undergoing some form of review. It was reiterated in Council FEC meeting yesterday. You know that today's council meeting is a continuation of the council meeting of yesterday. Details of that can be seen in the Daily Trust newspaper. Okay, and of course, we move to the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper has this interesting story to say. Federal government partners seek $306 million to address food crisis in Northeast. Federal government partners seek $306 million to address food crisis in Northeast. Now the news in detail. The federal government and international partners on Tuesday unveiled an appeal for $306 million to address the severe food and nutrition crisis affecting the Northeast region. The funds aim to provide food assistance, nutrition supplies, clean water, health care, and protection of those in dire need. According to the government-led Kadei Harmonize analysis released in March, approximately 4.8 million people in Borno State, Adamawa State, and Yobe State, respectively, are experiencing severe food insecurity, the highest level in 7 years. Those three states, Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe states. The most vulnerable groups include children, pregnant women, lactating women, the elderly, and people with disabilities. The appeal, part of the lean season food security and nutrition crisis multi-sector plan, targets 2.8 million people for immediate intervention. The crisis worsened by soaring food prices, ongoing conflict, insecurity, and climate change impacts threatening to escalate without swift and coordinated action. Malnutrition rates are particularly alarming, with an estimated 700,000 children under 5 projected to be acutely malnourished over the next 6 months. Of these, 230,000 are at risk of death without timely treatment and nutrition support, according to the United Nations. Details of that can be seen from the Punch newspaper. Please get yourself a copy. And we move over to an interesting information from Channels Television. Minister petitions IGP, Inspector General of Police, asks court to stop Niger State mass wedding of 100 orphans. Wow. Minister petitions Inspector General of Police, asks court to stop Niger State mass wedding of 100 orphans. Now the news in details. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, has petitioned Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Egbetokun seeking his support to stop the planned marriage by the Speaker of Niger State House of Assembly, Abdul Malik Sakindaji. Kennedy Ohaneye also filed a court injunction to stop the planned marriage of 100 orphans said to be children by the Speaker. Last week, the Speaker announced that he would sponsor the wedding of 100 girls. Some of them were orphaned by insurgency as part of his Mariga constituency project. He said he had procured materials for the event scheduled for 24th of May 2024 and promised to pay dowries for the bridegrooms. Following the outcry that trailed the announcement, the Speaker explained that he was only financing the wedding, not forcing the girls into marriage. For briefing journalists in Abuja on Monday, the minister said a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the issue will be carried out. She said the ministry will take responsibility for the girls' education and vocational training. The ministry had petitioned the Inspector General of Police and sought a court injunction to put a hold on the sponsored marriage until further investigation is carried out with a view to ensuring that the welfare of the orphans are adequately covered. A statement by the minister's spokesman, Ohare Osondu Joseph, read. And of course, details of that can be seen from your newspaper headlines this morning. All right, get yourself a copy. And away from that, we move to the Leadership newspaper. The Leadership newspaper has an interesting headline. Federal government, FG, deploys 20 trillion naira petition funds in infrastructure investment push. Now the news in detail. The federal government is making a move to rev up economic growth by unlocking 20 trillion naira. That's a whole lot. 20 trillion naira. From the nation's pension funds to finance critical infrastructure projects across the country. Finance Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edu, disclosed this to the State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided by President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa. He said the initiative forms a key part of Tinubu's broader reforms to stabilize the economy and high inflation and interest rates. To this end, he said the government will collaborate closely with private sector players to tap into the over 20 trillion naira pool of long-term funds available with Nigerians' pension, life insurance, and investment funds. He said, and one of the key drivers of economic growth is investment in infrastructure, in housing, power, rail, roads, water transport, even technology. These are key drivers of economic growth. They increase productivity when you invest in them. You get increased productivity when you get economic growth, and you get job creation, which reduces poverty. And that is strategy, so it is two-pronged, and we are not pivoting towards that all-important growth. And you say, where will the resources come from? Where will the resources come from? Nigeria is resilient. Nigerians are resilient people. All right, details of that can be seen in the Leadership newspaper. If you just get yourself a copy, you get to know more about that. And last but not the least is the cable newspaper. The cable news. Reps meet Obasanjo, seek support for bill to reintroduce parliamentary government. That's a thriller. That's something to think about. All right, now the news in detail. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo says members of the House of Representatives seeking to reintroduce the parliamentary system of government through constitutional amendment should get the support of the critical masses. The former president spoke in Abuja on Tuesday during a meeting with members of the House of Representatives promoting the bill. The meeting, which took place in Abuja, was part of a series of consultations to solicit support for the bill, which passed the first reading at the House of Representatives in February. Kingsley Chinda, the minority leader of the House of Representatives, led the lawmakers to the meeting. Nigeria currently practices a presidential system of government that allows a direct election of the president. Under the parliamentary system, the legislature appoints a prime minister with a less defined separation of powers. Nigeria practiced the parliamentary system of government from 1960 to 1963 during the First Republic. Speaking at the meeting, Obasanjo said the lawmakers should have a long-term plan and be tactical in advancing their position. Obasanjo said while he agrees that there is a need for a shift in the system of government, it must be one that will work well for the country. You are preaching to the converted, but all I've said, take the word parliamentary away. You are preaching to the converted, but as I've said, take the word parliamentary away, Obasanjo said. We need to get the critical masses, parliamentary, and all that. Once you start that, you have gotten it wrong. Once you do that, you are putting yourself in a fix because there are those who would say, we don't want parliamentary system of government. That is a statement accredited to former President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. Obasanjo said African countries adopted the Western liberal democracy introduced by the Europeans, which he noted is not synchronized with the continent's value system. Let me go back to the beginning where we got it wrong. The Western liberal democracy, that is what the Europeans have. He said, when you look at Western liberal democracy, it's a product of their history, a product of their culture, a product of their way of life. I've looked into most African languages. Western democracy has what they call loyal opposition. What is opposition in African languages? Enemy. Western democracies called oppositions loyal because the oppositions are loyal to the monarchy. That's where their loyal democracy began. They used to have monarchs. There's nothing liberal democracy that is African. We ruled ourselves before the advent of colonialism. We had empires and thriving kingdoms. We did not rule ourselves as opposition. What is the need for us? I don't know, but you can give it. For lack of an appropriate word, let us call it Afro-democracy. That is where we have to begin. In his remarks, Chinda said the lawmakers use parliamentary due to lack of an appropriate word. The legislature said the system of government proposed by lawmakers is homegrown and will suit the country. And away from there, we have a trending gist before we wrap up on the popular singer Portable. Yes, Portable is back to the news again. I don't know how many of you saw that thing that happened online, but of course, we shall just give you a rundown quickly of what happened as our trending gist as we're signing out. Portable in police net over debt incurred purchasing G-Wagon, according to the Punch newspaper. Now the news in detail. The Lagos State Police Command on Tuesday confirmed the arrest of the popular musician Habib Okikiola for allegedly refusing to pay the debt he incurred when he purchased a G-Wagon from a car dealer in the state. Punch Metro gathered that Portable, during the purchase of the vehicle worth 27 million naira, paid only 13 million naira and refused to pay the balance of 10 million naira. Our correspondent learned that whenever the car dealer contacted the musician to pay the balance, he usually was bad. When efforts to get Portable to pay the balance proved abortive, our correspondent gathered that the car dealer reported the matter to the police, resulting in the policeman detailed to investigate the case, arresting him on Tuesday. When contacted by our correspondent, they confirmed that Portable has been arrested. Benjamin said, yes, Portable has been arrested. He bought G9ijaTV, paid 13 million naira and refused to pay the rest, claiming the vehicle was bad. We arrested him today. But something interesting happened according to the leadership newspaper. Okay, so we are told that he actually scaled a gate to wish him well and pray that Portable will continue to do his best to stay out of G9ijaTV headlines with your regular host, Dr. Champion. Happy birthday one more time to all the May celebrants. Bye.